Corruption has been the main theme of the summit. So just how pervasive is corruption in Africa? In Kenya, for instance, statistics show that only 1 in 10 citizens actually reports corruption. CGTN's Vauldi Carelse talks to the Director of Transparency International in Nairobi to find out more.
Kenya dropped 6 places in the Global Perception Index in 2016. What do you attribute this to?
We are not in a good state. Kenya is not in a good position, and Kenya has never been in a very good position within the index. It is always in the last quartile, which means that basically the bottom quarter of the index. And that is the index that if you were to code it from red to green, ours would be deep red. Corruption is a big issue in this country. I think many people do acknowledge that it is a big issue. What we have not found as a country is the magic wand that would wipe it out in an instance.
Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta expressed frustration at the pace of his anti-corruption efforts. What more does the country need to do?
I think he was criticized for openly expressing that frustration while Kenyans were expecting him to provide leadership. But the truth is that all the agencies involved in the fight against corruption will express some form of frustration or the other. Whether it is that they are not getting the right support from other agencies, or the law enforcement is not quite a chain that delivers, or the political environment is such that when they try to take action, then there's a backlash and all that. So it's a combination of a lot of things.
How important is political will in the fight against corruption?
So it is the most important ingredient in my view in the fight against corruption. And I would venture to say that our biggest challenge remains the political class. If, for example, our politicians of all walks of life were to determine that this was an issue that needed to be fought singularly, we would make a lot of progress in a very short time. But in many cases, many of them are the ones who are involved. They are also the policy makers. So you find initiatives here and there that are either half-hearted or are abandoned halfway because it's probably too tough going up against the grain in seeking accountability for corruption and economic crimes.
Are ordinary Kenyans holding politicians accountable for corruption?
No, I would say no. If you look at the statistics from the basic feedback, like how many who have encountered corruption have reported, the statistics show that only about 10% or 1 in 10 people who encounter corruption report, which is perhaps one of the clearest indicators of the role the public is playing, because corruption is everywhere. You can see it. But there's only a minority that will come forward to report what they witness. It's an important thing that the African Union has decided that 2018 is the African year to combat corruption, because corruption still remains one of the most significant challenges this continent faces. And until we are able to deal with it, our own potential as a region will continue to be shackled, and others will continue to take advantage of our continent to their own benefit, while our own citizens will continue to suffer and wallow in poverty.